Attention! The following review contains sarcastic commentary that may offend hardcore fans of the work of fiction involved. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going to continue our coverage of the Conjuring universe with a review of Annabelle Creation. Before we begin, we publish a new video every week, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media. Help us to reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. The film opens in 1943, with successful toy maker Samuel Mullins creating his very first porcelain doll, which he would give to his daughter Annabelle, whose nickname is Bee. He made a limited run of 100 of these dolls, and lots of people want them. It's really hard to understand who would want to get one of these for their kid because it's like 3 feet tall and it's got a face that could scare a luchador. But anyway, they're in high demand, everybody wants one. One day, on the way back home from church, when Samuel and his wife Esther pull over their car to fix a tire, Bee runs out into the middle of the road and dies when she's hit by a passing car. Out of grief, the Mullins couple pray out to any force out there that'll bring their daughter back. As a result, they unknowingly summon a demon that masquerades as Bee's spirit. Eventually, after gaining their trust, the demon requests permission to transfer its essence into one of Samuel's porcelain dolls, in order to use it as a temporary vessel. Initially, the Mullins are overjoyed at being reunited with their daughter, but they eventually realize that they had been deceived by a malevolent spirit that was searching for a human host. Soon after, Annabelle, really the demon, attacks Esther, gouging her left eye out. The Mullins couple then takes Annabelle, the doll. It gets confusing because there are like 3 things referred to as Annabelle in this movie. But anyway, they seal the doll inside Bee's closet, covering the walls in Bible pages before reaching out to the church to bless the household. Annabelle remains dormant until 12 years later in 1957, when the Mullins couple open their home to provide shelter for Sister Charlotte and the orphans of St. Eustace after the closing of their orphanage. When night falls, Janice, one of the orphans who's been crippled by polio, is awakened by a noise. She decides to investigate where the noise comes from and discovers a note that says, "Find me," imitating a game that the real Annabelle used to play with her father when she was alive. Janice sneaks into Bee's room, which has somehow been unlocked, despite Samuel's warning to never enter the room. Janice finds a key within a dollhouse and unlocks Bee's closet, unintentionally freeing Annabelle. Janice, creeped out by the doll, shuts the closet, only for it to open again. Janice then closes the closet again and relocks it. But Bee's closet supernaturally opens again when she turns her back. She then just throws a bedsheet over the doll. But as Janice is leaving, the doll follows her. As she's walking, the bedsheet slips off, finally revealing nothing underneath. Janice looks out the windows and sees Samuel in the yard about to re-enter the house. This is finally enough to scare her into running back to her room. Annabelle, now released from Bee's closet, begins terrorizing the girls throughout their stay at the Mullins farmhouse, primarily focusing on Janice. Janice tries on a couple of occasions to relate these creepy experiences to the other people in the house, but she keeps getting interrupted by things like unpacking boxes. It's like she knows she has something important to tell somebody, but she just can't remember what it is, and oh well, it'll come to her eventually. On the second night, when Carol and Nancy stay up to gossip and tell stories about Esther, who still lives in the house bedridden and rings a bell when she needs assistance, they hear her bell ringing for Samuel. As Esther's bell continues to ring, Carol and Nancy wonder why Samuel doesn't answer her. After their flashlight shuts off, they see Annabelle through their blanket, as a shadowy figure representing their interpretation of Esther's appearance in their stories. Annabelle then attacks the girls, grabbing Carol's face, before the demon disappears when Kate turns on the light. On the third night, Janice hears My Sunshine playing on the gramophone in Bee's room. And get this, she goes in there. After all she's seen. If I was that age, you couldn't have gotten me back into that room with a cattle prod. But she just goes in there, shuts off the record, and she just hangs around until her best friend Linda walks in. Janice tells her Bee's backstory, and Linda accidentally shoots the Annabelle doll with a toy gun that she's been fiddling with, resulting in the doll glaring at her ominously. Actually, the doll just looks in her direction. The glare is just permanently etched there in porcelain on her hideous face. Seriously, who would buy one of these dolls for their kid? After Linda leaves the room and goes back to bed, Janice still hangs around in there and reads Bee's diary. There are several blank pages after the date of her death, until finally there's a page that reads simply, "Today I came home." As soon as she reads this, the door shuts on her, trapping her inside. And honestly, let's face it, she's got it coming at this point. Annabelle then appears to Janice in Bee's form, and Janice asks Annabelle what she wants. Annabelle turns around with a demonic face and declares that she wants her soul. Once you get over the initial jump scare, it's honestly pretty funny. In complete fear, Janice attempts to flee from Annabelle via a stairwell, only for Annabelle to catch her and throw her down from the second-floor landing to the first floor, resulting in her being confined to a wheelchair. On the fourth night, Linda, after comforting Janice, opens the door to Bee's room and notices that Annabelle is absent from her chair. Again, Annabelle the doll, not Annabelle the demon or Annabelle the little girl. Linda waits in her and Janice's bedroom, anticipating Annabelle to appear. Linda uses Bee's toy gun to detect the demon's presence by shooting its ball into the darkness. The demon grabs the ball and snatches the toy gun away from Linda. When Annabelle starts to approach her rapidly, Linda frantically runs to her bed and hides under her covers. After the lamp shuts off, Linda sees inhuman footprints leading to her bed. She checks the left side of her bed and sees the doll looking up at her before it is grabbed by the demon. And then somehow she manages to fall asleep. She finally wakes up in the morning mildly startled but ultimately unharmed. The day after, Sister Charlotte brings Janice outside for some sunlight. Sister Charlotte walks away, and then the demon appears to replace her and then pushes Janice's wheelchair into a barn and knocks her over. Janice struggles to get back into her wheelchair, only for it to be destroyed. She's then possessed by Annabelle, that is, Annabelle the demon posing as Bee, when she vomits black ectoplasm into her mouth. It's super gross, but I guess that's how these things work. Linda notices changes in Janice's behavior and tells Samuel that Janice had gone into Bee's room. Soon after this, Samuel decides it's maybe time to do something about these demon shenanigans. He enters the dining room and finds Annabelle sitting in one of the chairs. He's then approached by Janice, who then contorts into Annabelle's true demonic form. Samuel attempts to repel her with a handmade crucifix, but Annabelle telekinetically breaks his claymation fingers one by one, causing him to drop the cross. And you know what they say, a cross in the hand is worth two on the ground. So mathematically, Samuel's down to half a cross. And half a cross is just a stick. And a stick and a broken hand against a demon, well, bye-bye, Samuel. Sister Charlotte hears his screams and rushes to his aid, horrified upon finding his corpse. At night, Linda takes Annabelle away from Janice while she's asleep and goes outside to dispose of the doll. Charlotte sees Linda from her bedroom window and follows her. Linda opens the well and Sister Charlotte asks what she's doing. Linda tells her what she plans to do and drops Annabelle down the well. Wait a minute, which horror movie are we watching again? When Linda and Charlotte start walking back, Linda hears whispering coming from the well, and Annabelle attempts to pull her down the well with what appears to be human hands. Charlotte grabs Linda and pulls her away from the well before closing it. Linda and Charlotte run back to the household only to find the doll in Janice's place on the couch in the living room. Charlotte tells the girls to find Janice while she takes the doll with her. Sister Charlotte speaks with Esther, who wears a porcelain mask to hide her scars from Annabelle's attack years earlier, and informs Sister Charlotte of the evil doll's origins. Carol, Nancy, and Tierney... Wait, Tierney? Is that her name? I don't think she had a single speaking part in this entire movie. Carol, Nancy, and Tierney find Janice and the Annabelle doll that somehow got in Bee's room. Janice cuts Nancy's left arm with a knife, and the girls run downstairs to Charlotte for help. Charlotte tells Carol to call the police, and she does. Afterward, they run over to Esther's room to help her escape with them, only to find the bisected upper half of her corpse crucified onto the wall. Charlotte finds Linda and Kate in the girls' bedroom, and Janice enters behind her. Charlotte utters a Latin incantation as Janice levitates her and slams her against a mirror, rendering her unconscious. Linda and Kate run from Janice, but Linda trips and is dragged across a corridor. At Linda's request, Kate runs to get help while Janice searches for Linda, who attempts to escape via the dumbwaiter. Meanwhile, the other two girls run to the barn, with the door shutting in front of Nancy, Kate, and Tierney, separating Carol from the other girls. The demon then emerges from the scarecrow inside, and it begins to destroy the light bulbs one by one, with Carol struggling to keep the last one intact by trying to screw it in with her bare hand. Remember, this is 1957, when light bulbs were hot enough to boil water. When Annabelle finally destroys the last light, Carol runs into the room where Samuel makes his dolls. Nancy comes to rescue her through the windows, and the two of them escape unharmed. Linda exits the dumbwaiter and enters the Mullin couple's bedroom, where Annabelle briefly possesses Esther's corpse to scare her. Linda runs back to the dumbwaiter and uses it to get back up, but it abruptly stops. Linda glances down to see Janice chasing her below before the demon's hands attempt to pull the dumbwaiter down. Linda thwarts the demon by slamming the dumbwaiter door down on the demon's claws, and it lets go, because its fingers hurt. The same fingers that rent a human torso in half but just minutes ago. Is it too much to ask for a little bit of consistency? Anyway, Linda uses the rope attached to get back into the room and sees Janice downstairs. When Janice resumes pursuing Linda, she runs into Bee's room and hides in the closet. Janice finds her and throws her outside the closet and attempts to stab her with a knife. Sister Charlotte arrives to save Linda, locking Annabelle, that is, Annabelle the doll, the demon, and the possessed Janice, inside the closet. The next day, after Sister Charlotte and the orphans have vacated the house, police arrive to investigate and find the Annabelle doll in the closet, which they remove as evidence. They also discover that Janice had escaped through a hole in the closet wall the night before. It turns out she relocated to St. Joachim, another orphanage in Santa Monica. A nice family, the Higgins, adopts her, and the still-possessed Janice introduces herself as Annabelle. 12 years later, Annabelle has been busy. She's formed a cult known as the Disciples of the Ram. And then she kills her adoptive parents. The neighbors are awakened by the screams of the Higgins couple, and they go next door to investigate, setting the events of the movie Annabelle into motion. And we'll cover that next time. I can hardly wait. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.